Hello everyone, ARG back with some more Franchise Hockey Manager 8. It's been a second since I've done this. Today we're gonna go ahead and play October of 1992. Not a whole lot to talk about. I have a couple injuries that are day-to-day. Gretzky can play with it. I still have Mike Gartner on the trading block. I'm hoping that somebody's going to make me an offer that I cannot refuse, or that's going to kind of lure me into trying to make a bigger trade or something like that. So, we lost a lot of depth in the waivers draft. I was kind of disappointed with that. I was seeing some of my defensemen finally starting to develop, and they all gone. So, yeah, we're gonna need to live with that. But hey, I got Al Seckard, right? So, woohoo! All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Jeff Smith should be ready to play here soon. Yeah, there's still a few days there that we have to wait. All right, let's get going. All right, Gretzky is almost recovered, which is good. Oh yeah, like I'm gonna give Al Seckard number 20 instead of leaving it to Luc Robitaille. You can wear 22 and be happy with it. Oh, you're incensed, huh? Deal with it. Deal with it. Alright, so our first matchup is going to be against the Stanley Cup champions. Wait, it's the Kings that won last time, right? There's a way to find that out somewhere. Yeah, it's the Flames. So we're facing the Stanley Cup champions. Like I said, it's been a second since I've played. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at their team there. So Joe Mullen is not going to play. He is on the injured reserve. All right. Oh, looks like they've lost a few players there. All right, so they have Vincent Riendo and Mike Vernon in net. So with Vernon in net, that should still be pretty solid. Brian Fogarty, Jamie McCann, Brad McCrimmon, Gary Suter with that very high salary because they matched the offer that I made him. Alan McInnes and Rob Ramage on D. Up front they have Berezan, Siga, Ranheim, Roberts, Gilmore, Nieuwendyk, Joel Otto, Girard, Nelson, Bustad, Evans, Fleury, Greg, Kumpel, and Lube. Alright, so maybe they're going to be a little bit takeable, I guess. Alright, so we're on the road for a quick road game, and then we're going to have like 5 straight home games, and then we're going to hit the road again. Alright, so let's get this thing going now, shall we? And so Gretzky's playing. Alright. Let's get going. Arthur Serbe is going to be in net for us. He's going to be facing Vincent Riendo. So we are back to having Herbe as our starter, it looks like. Alright, so go Kings go, and hopefully we win the cup this year. Feels like I say that every season. Alright, and we start the season with a nice 5-2 victory on the road over the Stanley Cup champions, the Calgary Flames. We outshot them 38-23 as well. Alexander McGillney was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Andrew Castles was the second star with a goal and an assist as well. And Randy Ladouceur was the third star with 2 assists. Flames scored first in the first period, then Alexander McGillney tied the game from Robert Reichel, and Robert Cron, who got a point in his first game as an LA King, tied at 1 here after 1. There was a fight between Gary Roberts and Adam Burt as well. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Ray Shepard and Mike Gartner, and then Scott Arniel from Randy Ladouceur and Adam Burt, 3-1 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, Andrew Castle scored from Alexander McGillney and Randy Ladouceur. Then Robert Zvela scored from Andrew Castles and Randy Wood. So that's Robert Zvela's first NHL goal. Sorry, it is difficult to talk apparently. And then the Flames added a goal with 1:07 left to go in the third period. It was 5-2, but it was too late. We won this 5-2. Nice little game. Oh, there's a few players, on waivers. One of them a goaltender, Jeff Rees, has been put on waivers by Quebec, and then Kurt Giles has been put on waivers by the Canucks, and Mark Hunter by the Chicago Blackhawks. Doug Gilmour's point streak ended at 12 games, so we ended his streak. Did not get an assist against us. Passes on point for Kurt Muller with the Devils. He had a goal and 5 assists against the Islanders. That's pretty good. It can be, yeah. Especially when I play historical, I have a very good knowledge of the players and everything. Plus, until 2005, there's no salary cap as well, so it's not that hard for me when I play historical. Which is why I kind of accepted the added challenge of player initials with A, R, and G to make it a little bit more difficult. So a goal and 5 assists for Muller against the Islanders. A really good game. And Gretzky is completely recovered from his injury. So now he can go back to dominating the league. Alright, so we have a day off and then we're going to be back home. We're going to be playing against the Red Wings. Some more players have been put on waivers. Craig Berube from Vancouver. Ken Queenie from Boston. And Brad Marsh from Boston as well. Wendell Clark has a great game. He had 4 goals against the Capitals. Pretty good game indeed. Memorable game for Larry Murphy. He had 4 assists in that same game. Alright, so Detroit is in town. They are 1-0. That's good for 5th in the conference. I wouldn't put too much stock in that because everybody has played only 1 game except for the Sharks, who has yet to play. We're going to take a look at the Wings. Of course, they had a tough season last season, the Wings. Alright, so they have Roman Cechmanek in net and Tim Cheveldae. Alright. Cechmanek is 21, so he's only a 1-star player, not developed yet. Steve Chiasson, Brian Glynn, Hines, Sabourin, Krasotkin, Modry, Peterson, and Schneider on D. Up front, they have Sean Burr, Ted Donato, Gerard Gallant, Adam Graves, Chris King, Peter Klima, Shabbat Contos, Adam Oates, Yzerman, Barr, Murphy, and Probert. Right, so their D is really not all that great, so hopefully we can capitalize on that and get another W here. Alright, so go Kings again! Let's make it 2 in a row. Tim Cheveldae in net for the Wings. We have Artus Irby in net for us. Oh, we lost 6-4. That's not good. That's a lot of goals. We did outshoot Detroit 43-35. Adam Oates was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Adam Oates was a lot more of a passer, so he had goal scoring stretch there. Robert Reichel was the second star with 2 assists, and Steve Yzerman was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Sellout crowd here at the Forum in Inglewood. Detroit scored first in the first period. They were up 1-0. Then we had fighting. Randy Ladouceur and Joe Murphy face punched each other. Then a bunch of goals in the second period. Alexander Mogilny scored from Alexei Gusarov and Robert Reichel tied the game. Then Luc Robitaille from Gerald Deduck and Wayne Gretzky. We were up 2-1. Then the Wings scored 2 goals. They were up 3-2. Then we scored 2. Mike Gartner from Luc Robitaille and Gerald Deduck. And then Alexander Mogilny from Robert Cron and Robert Reichel. We were back up 4-3. But then with 19 seconds left to go in the second period, the Wings tied the game. It was 4-4 after 2. Another fight as well. Andy Reichma, Reimsha fought Gerard Gallant. And then in the third period, the Wings scored 2 more goals and they ran away with the win. So it is a 6-4 loss here at the start of, that was our home opener. Alright, there was no stopping Adamos, as we saw he had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Craig Janney extends his assist streak to 10 games in Boston. He had an assist against Hartford. Uwe Krupp is suspended in Buffalo. He's going to miss 1 game. Paul Coffey has a good game. He had 4 assists against the Islanders. Mario Lemieux lights the lamp in that same game. He had 4 goals and an assist. Dale Hawerchuk in Winnipeg had 4 goals and 2 assists against the Sharks. Wow, lots of offense here at the start of the season. Teppo Numminen is back from suspension with the Jets. And Jeff Smith is starting to feel better. That's good, that's good. Alright, so we have a day off and then we're going to be hosting the Jets. Oh, Bernie Nichols got his 900th point of his career with an assist against the Rangers. Bernie Nichols is 31 years old and he's dropped to a 2.5-star talent player, so losing some feathers there. Jeff Smith feeling better again. And the Nordiques are looking to trade Jeff Brown. Too bad that I cannot go for him. Alright, so we are hosting the Jets now. So the Jets are 1-1. That's good for second in the conference. They are atop of our division. Looks like a lot of us are 1-1 as far as I can tell. Let's take a look at the Jets. Alright, no injuries in Winnipeg, so that's the best team they can ice. Curtis Joseph and Mike Richter in net. That's pretty strong. Randy Carlisle, Bobby Dallas, Dave Ellett, Brian Marchment, Teppo Numminen, Frederick Olason, and Chris Luongo on D. The D's pretty good. Larry Boschman, Andy Brickley, Ian Duncan, Inachak, Shannon Hawerchuk, Niemchinov, Pivan Kostin, Wilson Elena, Kabshai, Yarvenpa, and McBain up front. All right. Curtis Joseph is going to be in net for the Jets. Archer Serbay is back in net for us. Go Kings! Another loss at home. That's not good. We are now 1-2. We lost 6-3 this time. And we outshot the opposition again, 31-28. Yeah, something is going awry here. Frederick Olason was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Laurie Boschman was the second star with 2 assists. And Dale Hawerchuk was the third star with a goal and an assist. Another sellout crowd. Sadly, we lost. The Jets scored first in the first period. And they were up 1-0. Then in the second, they took a 2-0 lead. Then we tied the game. Andrew Castles from Ray Shepard and Randy Wood. Then Luc Robitaille from Wayne Gretzky and Mike Gartner. Then the Jets scored, made it 3-2. And we tied the game. Scott Arneal from Alexander Mogilny and Gerald Deduck. It was tied at 3 after 2. But the Jets would score 3 unanswered goals in the third period and they would run away with a 6-3 victory. There was also a fight between Gerald Deduck and Brian Marchment. Alright. Craig Janney extends his assist streak to 11 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Islanders. Yuri Krupp is back from suspension in Buffalo. Great night for Mark Messier, still with the Oilers. He had a hat-trick against the Canucks. And Jeff Smith is almost completely recovered. We have a couple of days off and then we're going to be hosting the San Jose Sharks. Jeff Smith is completely recovered. And I say, let's get him on. Trying to figure out who it is that I want to... I think I'm going to send Zvela down. There we go. Alright, we have one more day off. Craig Janney extends his point streak to 12 games. He had a goal against the Suns. Craig Janney's assist streak ended at 11 games, however, because all he had was a goal. Injury puts Tony Amonte on the sidelines with the Rangers. He is out for 4 months with a ruptured UCL. Memorable game for Brian Leach. In that same game, he had 6 assists against the Waiters. Wow. No one could stop Thomas Sandstrom. In that same game, he had a hat-trick. And Tony Granato is back in the lineup after serving his suspension for the Rangers. A lot of action for the Rangers there. Alright, we are about to host the Sharks. Sharks are 0-2. They are 11th in the conference. Let's take a look and see if they have improved upon last year. A little bit. So they have Tom Barrasso and Glenn Ely in net. That's not bad, actually. Peter Taglianetti, Weimer, Olsen, Gart Butcher, Dean Kennedy, Marty McSorley, Frank Musil, and Brian Rafalski on D. And up front they have Donnelly, Krieger, Miller, Barsato, Similaro, Sergei Brennan, Janssens, Forsberg, Sullivan, Sutter, Yake, Reichel, and Caulfield. Yeah, there's still some holes in that lineup, but they have some goaltending. Sometimes when you have the goaltending, you can, do some damage. Alright, let's see if we can get our first home victory of the season here. Glenn Ely is going to be in net for the Sharks, facing his former team. François Gravel is getting the start for us. Go Kings! Ooh, a 7-5 victory, so we gave up a lot of goals. Again, that's starting to worry me a little bit. We outshot, especially since, we outshot the Sharks 42-25, so they scored 5 goals on 25 shots. That's terrible. Alexander McGillney was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Todd Krieger was the second star with 2 assists. And Mike Ridley was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Sellout crowd yet again. Sharks opened up the scoring in the first. Then Mike Gartner scored from Andrew Castles and Randy Wood. And then the Sharks scored again. It was 2-1 San Jose after 1. Then in the second period, Ray Shepard scored from Mike Gartner and Gary Galley. Then the Sharks took the lead again. Then we tied again. It was Alexander McGillney from Andrew Castles and Randy Wood. And then the Sharks took another lead. It was 4-3 for the Sharks after 2. Didn't look good for us. Gerald Deduck and Peter Taglianetti got into a fight. Then in the third period, Alexander McGillney scored his 5th of the season from Mike Ridley. Then Randy Ledusser gave us our first lead of the game from Robert Cron and Mike Ridley. And then Mike Ridley from Robert Cron and Randy Ladouceur made it 6-4. The Sharks came to within 1, but with 4 seconds left to go in the game, Luc Robitaille scored in an empty net from Alexander McGillney and Jeff Smith, and we won 7-5. Randy Wood got hurt in this game. He's gonna maybe miss some time. Al Seckert converts to left wing. Randy Wood is day to day, so yeah, we can deal. All right, couple of days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Flames. Now we've played the Flames already, and we gave them their only loss of the season so far. Neil Broughton has racked up 500 assists in his career with 2 assists against Calgary. Neil Broughton is 32 and he is still a 3-star player. Strong night for Theo Fleury in that same game. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. That's pretty good. And also a memorable game for Mario Lemieux. He had a goal and 4 assists against Buffalo. Alright. So the Flames are in town. The Flames are 3-1. That's good for 3rd in the division. We are 1-0 against the Flames. We did beat them in Calgary to open up the season. Let's see if we can beat them back at home here. Vincent Riendeau is going to be in net for the Flames. We're going back to Arthur Serbé. Go Kings! Come on. We lost 5-2, so a little bit of a rocky start to the season. We were outshot 33-27. Doug Evans was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Gary Suter was the second star with 2 assists, and Brian Fogarty was the third star with a goal and an assist. Another sellout crowd in Inglewood. Another loss for the Kings. Calgary opened up the scoring in the first. It was 1-0 Calgary after 1. Then in the second period, Calgary scored again, made it 2-0. Then Mike Gartner scored from Wayne Gretzky and Gerald Deduck, made it 2-1, but Calgary would take the 2-goal lead back, and it was 3-1 after 2. Looks like Gartner got a 5-minute major for an illegal check to the head, so I wonder if he's being suspended. There's some news up there. And in the third period, Calgary made it 4-1. Then Robert Cron scored short-handed from Gary Volk and Gerald Deduck. It was 4-2, but the Flames added 1 more goal in an empty net, and we lost 5-2. Alright. Yeah, Gartner is suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. Wayne Gretzky played in his 1000th game against the Flames. He got an assist. Gretzky's 31, still a 5-star player. Hakan Lube has achieved 600 points in his career. He had an assist against us. Hakan Lube is 32 and still a 2-star player. Injury puts Cam Neely on the sidelines. Neely is going to be out for 3 weeks with a strained triceps. And Craig Janney extends his point streak to 13 games. In that same game against the Sharks, he had an assist. Alright, we have a day off, and then we're going to be hosting the Bruins. Right, a night to remember for Bernie Nichols. He had 4 assists against the Suns. Randy Wood back soon. That'd be great. We have a player that's suspended now. And the Flames are wanting to trade Joe Mullen. Right, so Randy Wood can play. I would rather have him play injured than Al Seckert in the lineup. Right, Bruins are in town. They are 3-1. Good start to the season for the Bees. Let's see what they have here. Alright, so as we saw, Cam Neely is hurt, so he's not going to be playing. Other than that, Reggie Lemelin and Felix Potvin are in net. Doug Crossman, Don Sweeney, Glenn Wesley, Ray Bork, Stefan Quintal, Williams, and Allgood on D. That D is pretty darn good. And then up front they have Randy Burridge, Carter Gillen, McEachern, Gretzky, Johnny Lebeau Waite, Jimmy Carson, Bundra, Emerson, Neely, Tuttle, and Owen Nolan. Alright, let's play this game. Felix Potvin is going to be in net for the Bruins. We're going to go to Arthur Serbe. Go Kings! Another loss. We are struggling, folks. We lost 8-6. So it's not only that we lose, we're allowing a lot of goals. We were outshot 40-32 in that one. Ray Bork was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Alexander McGillney was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Doug Waite was the third star with a goal and an assist. Another sellout crowd for fans that are probably starting to boo us out of the arena. Alright, Boston opened up the scoring in the first, then Alexander McGillney tied the game from Robert Cron and Adam Bird, then the Bruins took the lead again, and then we tied again. Ray Shepard scored on the power play from Gary Galley, and Wayne Gretzky tied at 2 here after 1. In the second period, Boston took the lead again, and then we tied again. Andrew Castles from Robert Cron and Gary Galley tied at 3 at that point, then Boston scored twice. We were down 5-3 after 2. And in the third period, Boston made it 6-3. Then we came to within 1 with 2 goals. Alexander McGillney from Wayne Gretzky and Robert Cron. Then Wayne Gretzky from Luc Robitaille and Alexander McGillney, 6-5. However, the Bruins scored 2 goals in 23 seconds. It was 8-5. We added 1 more goal. Mike Ridley from Scott Arniel and Gary Volk. It was 8-6, but it was too little too late. That's another loss. Alright, Craig Janney extends his point streak to 14 games against us. He had 2 assists. Bad news for the Red Wings. Matthew Schneider is injured. He's going to miss 4 months. That's gonna hurt for them. A ruptured foot tendon. Steve Conroy's suspension ends. He is back in the lineup with the Islanders. And Doug Wilson has a great game. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Leafs. Oh, I know why I'm losing. It's that new head coach I hired. Looks like I hired an incompetent. That's all his fault. It cannot possibly be mine. Because I'm at the top. And that's what the people at the top do. They don't take responsibility. They blame it on their underlings. I am following corporate America's template to the letter here. It is everybody's fault but mine. Alright, 2 more days off here, and then we're going to be playing in Calgary again. That's already going to be our 3rd game of the season against the Flames. Hi Kim, yeah, as I explained, I think it's in my last stream, I explained I can't stand it. It's maybe, like I said, if they add a mode where you can play as only a coach, then I think I would try it. Kind of like in Out of the Park Baseball where you can play as just the manager. I think I would try that. It's just too much. Anyway. And how are you doing aside from that? Alright, so Murray Craven extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Jets. Randy Wood almost recovered. And Randy Wood is completely recovered now. All right, so in Calgary to face the Flames. Flames are 5-1. That's a lot better than us. That's still not even good enough for first in the conference. They are third. Well, technically they have 10 points like the Oilers, and they played one less game, so I guess they should be first. But anyway, all right. So let's see if we can enact revenge. Oh God, that's terrible. The poor Blues got rocked 10-2 against the Habs last night. All right. Arthur Serbe is back in net for us. Vincent Riendo in net for the Flames. That's whom we face all 3 games so far. Go Kings, come on. Oh, a decisive 7-1 road victory. Looks like I have a tendency to have teams that perform better on the road. I'm not too sure why, but a very nice 7-1 victory here against the Flames. Look at that, we completely rocked them in shots, 54-20. Alexander McGillney, who is having a really good season so far, first star with a goal and an assist. Gary Galley was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Andrew Castles was the third star with 2 assists. Adam Burt opened up the scoring in the first from Robert Reichel and Alexander McGillney, then Alexander McGillney from Andrew Castles and Robert Cron, 2-0 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Gary Galley and Luke Robitaille. Then the Flames scored, it was 3-1, and then Alexei Gusarov scored from Scott Arniel, 4-1 Kings after 2. And we added 3 more goals in the third period. Gary Galley from Ray Shepard and Al Secker. Oh, Secker got a point there. Then Jeff Smith from Andrew Castles and Robert Cron. And then Ray Shepard on the power play from Gary Galley and Wayne Gretzky. 7-1. Very good victory. Gary Suter and Gerald Dedock got into a scrap. Oh yes, McGillney is. He had a couple very underwhelming seasons, but well, he had a pretty severe injury I think the first year, but he's on a really good roll so far. Murray Craven extends his goal streak to 6 with a goal against the Islanders. Red light stays on for Mario Lemieux, 3 goals and an assist against the Canucks. And Yves Racine is hurt with the Oilers, 6 weeks with a broken collarbone. Yep, he did. I remember it very, very, very well because the Sabres would play a lot against the Nordiques. So I would get to see McGillney a lot, and I was like, man, that guy is pretty good. See, even as a kid, I had eye for talent. Alright, couple days off, and then we're going to be in Winnipeg to play against the Jets. Oh, Brian Leach is injured. He's going to miss 3 weeks with a bruised wrist. I don't know what it is about Brian Leach. It's like my 3rd year doing like historicals for either YouTube or Twitch, and Brian Leach gets hurt like all the time, every year. I don't know what it is. Usually it's a bunch of day-to-day injuries. But anyway, he's out for 3 weeks. Norm McIver extends his goal streak to 5 games. In that same game against the Capitals, he had a goal. And Mike Bullard scored 400 goals in his career. Scored a goal against the Nordiques. Mike Bullard is 31 and he is still a 3-star player. All right. Craig Janney's point streak ended at 14 games. They got shut out against the Flames, so no points for him. Strong game for Teemu Selanne. He had a hat-trick against the Blackhawks. Teemu Selanne plays for the Devils in my universe. That's a little weird. He's 22 and he's already a 5-star player. Another one that I wouldn't have minded having on my team. Rick Tocchet is sidelined with the Flyers. 4 months with a fractured ankle. And Mario Lemieux extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had 2 goals and an assist against the Red Wings. Alright, we are in Winnipeg to play against the Jets. We already played them this month. And we lost 6-3 on home ice. Now we're going to be playing in Winnipeg. Winnipeg is 4-4, so they are 4th in the conference. Let's avenge our loss. I thought it was 3 games and that Gartner was going to be... I guess this is the 3rd game that he's missing. Artus Irbe back in net. Or still in net, I should say. Mike Richter in net for the Jets. Go Kings, please. 8-4 victory. I have a road team. I suggest that even when we're in LA, we all stay in a hotel to simulate the road life. Alright, so 8-4 victory here in Winnipeg. So we lit up Cujo and Mike Richter. We outshot them 46-28. Luke Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Alexei Gusarov was the 2nd star with 2 assists, and Randy Ladouceur, 2 assists as well, was the 3rd star. Wayne Gretzky opened up the scoring in the first. That was a power play goal from Ray Shepherd and Luke Robitaille, and then the Jets scored twice. It was 2-1 Jets after 1. Then in the second period, the Jets made it 3-1, and then we exploded with 5 goals. Scott Arniel from Robert Reichel and Randy Ladouceur, then Scott Arniel again from Robert Reichel and Randy Ladouceur again, and it was, 24 seconds later? Then Luke Robitaille from Andrew Castles and Joel Deduck, and then Andrew Castles from Alexander McGinney and Adam Burt. It was 5-3, and then Randy Wood added another one. Yeah, that's 5, okay. That was a short-handed goal from Gary Volk and Gerald Deduck. 6-3 for the Kings. Then the Jets scored. It was 6-4 after 2. Then in the third period, we added 2 more goals. Ray Shepherd from Luke Robitaille and Alexei Gusarov. And then Gretzky scored his 5th on the power play from Gusarov and Gary Galley. 8-4 the final score. Right, the very next day, we're going to be in Minnesota to play against the North Stars. Right, so Mike Gartner is back in the lineup after serving his suspension. That's good. Oh, Yui Krupp is suspended for the 2nd time this month. This time he's going to miss 2 games. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Peter Nedved in Buffalo. In that same game, he had 4 assists against the Sharks. Prolific passing night for Chris Chelios, who had 4 assists as well against the Rangers. Tony Granato in that same game had a hat-trick. Dale Hunter got 500 assists in his career with an assist against the Islanders. Dale Hunter is 32. He's still a 4-star player. 4-star player and 4 suspensions a season or something. And Charlie Huddy has been put on the block by Pittsburgh. Alright, we are going to be playing in Minnesota against the North Stars. It's a little tougher for the North Stars than it is for us. They are 1-5-2. Despite that, that's good for 9th in the conference. Oh, we have a few injuries. So Stu Grimson is hurt with a torn labrum, not gonna see him. Sean Chambers is also hurt with a fractured hand, not gonna play. And another player who's not gonna be playing is Mo Manta, who has a strained foot. Oh, yeah. Alright, so in net they have Bob Essensa and Chris Terry. Then on D, they have Gates, Hardy, Johnson, Jacobson, Romanov, Manta, and Gronman. Not exactly an awesome D there. Then up front, they have Brian Bellows, Conacher, De Palma, Liba, Millar, Martin Ruzinski, Warren Reichel, Neil Broughton, Dave Gagne, Ken Hodge, Dino Cicerelli, Stu Gavin, LeBlanc, and Tuomainen. Yeah, there's definitely a few holes in that lineup. All right, Francois Gravel is going to be in net for the Kings. Chris Terry in net for the North Stars. Go Kings! Come on. We're a little bit on a roll here. Oh yeah, 8-2 victory. We scored 16 goals in our last 2 games. All right, another road victory. Another very decisive win, an 8-2 win. We were outshot 38-36 in that one. Wayne Gretzky finally getting a little bit of a good offensive game. He's been kind of quiet so far this season. He was the first star with 3 goals and an assist. Ray Shepherd was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Francois Gravel, third star with 36 saves and, of course, the W. So Minnesota opened up the scoring in the first. It was 1-0 Minnesota after 1. Then in the second period, Andrew Castles scored his 5th from Alexander McGillney and Scott Arniel. Then Gary Galley scored on the power play from Wayne Gretzky and Andrew Castles. It was 2-1 Kings after 2. Means that we scored a whole bunch of goals in the third period. There was a fight between Tommy Jacobson and Gerald Deduck. And then in the third period, the North Stars tied the game, and then we scored 6 unanswered goals. Ray Shepherd scored his 5th from Randy Wood and Mike Ridley. Then Alexander McGillney from Gary Galley and Andrew Castles. Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Mike Gartner and Ray Shepherd. Then Gretzky again from Luc Robitaille and Mike Gartner. Ray Shepherd from Gerald Deduck and Robert Reichel. And then Wayne Gretzky completed his hat-trick from Gary Volk and Luc Robitaille. It was an 8-2 victory. And another fight between Jim Johnson and Randy Ladouceur. Strong game for Gretzky. As we say, he had 3 goals and an assist. Dallas Drake in Hartford got suspended. He's going to miss 1 game. And Scott Young in that same game extended his point streak to 12 games with an assist. Oh, looks like we're finishing the month on the road. So in a couple days, we're going to be in Uniondale to play against the Islanders, who are having a terrible, terrible, terrible time so far this season. They are probably not having a whole lot of fun. Kevin Lowe is suspended in Edmonton. He's going to be missing 4 games. And Tony Tanti racked up 300 goals in his career, 2 goals against Boston. Tony Tanti is 29 years old, and he is a 2-star player still playing in Vancouver. All right, the Islanders are 1-8 so far this season. That's a really poor start for them. So 2 seasons ago, they were one of the best teams in the league. Then last year, they missed the playoffs. And so far this year, that's not going too good for them. All right. Well, they have the goaltending, you would think. So Jeff Hackett and Kelly Rudy are in net. Kelly Rudy is a 4.5-star goaltender. Maybe my scout is overthinking it, I guess. On D, they have Bruce Cassidy, Ken Hammond, Steve Conroy, Roman Hammerlick, Jeff Norton, Rich Pilon, Scott Lachance, Bob Beers, and Evans. Yeah, that's not a great D. Up front, they have Greg Gilbert, John Leclerc, Mikko Mäkelä-Elminen, LaFontaine, Sutter, Trottier, Fitzgerald, Flatley, Kirk, Kudelski, and Lettinen. There's some interesting piece up front. Yeah, they're not able to put it together. Artis Herbe back in net for the Kings. Kelly Rudy in net for the Islanders. Go Kings! Oh, it went to overtime, but we did win. 5-4 victory for the Kings. Alright, we were outshot 40-37. Alexander McGillney was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Bob Beers was the second star with 2 assists. And Robert Reichel was the third star with 2 goals. Robert Reichel opened up the scoring in the first period from Alexander McGillney and Robert Cron. It was 1-0 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, the Islanders tied the game. Then Robert Reichel scored his second goal of the game from Luc Robitaille and Alexander Mogilny. Then Jeff Smith from Mike Ridley. 3-1 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, the Islanders scored 3 straight goals. They were up 4-3, but Gary Gaddy scored on the power play from Andrew Castles to tie the game. It was tied at 4. We went to overtime, where Alexander Mogilny played the hero, scoring his 10th goal of the season, short-handed, from Ray Shepherd. So already 10 goals for the season for Alexander Mogilny. Oh, Wayne Gretzky is hurt. That's fun. Uh-oh. Oh. Wayne Gretzky is out for 2 to 3 months. With a torn PCL. That's the time to panic, folks. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna put him on the injured reserve. And now I get to select which Alf Star player I want to come in for him. I'm gonna recall Gernander. Alright, there we go. Gonna try to expose him a little bit, show. Alright, Gernander, you're coming in. You're gonna have to fill in for Wayne Gretzky. Go and have fun, buddy. Alright, now we're gonna be in Boston to face the Bruins. Yeah, that's a pretty big blow to lose Gretzky for an extended amount of time like that. Joe Cirella has been put on waivers by the Leafs. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Steve Yzerman, who had 4 assists against the Sharks. Now, I will say, I mean, it always sucks to lose Gretzky, I mean, obviously, but center is probably where center and right wing is where I'm the deepest. So I have like Robert Reichel and I have Andrew Castles that can play on the first line. I would probably prefer Castles there, so he should be a capable replacement. He's not going to be Gretzky level, obviously, but he should be able to, you know, not look too out of sorts. Scott Young's point streak ended at 12 games. Didn't get a point against the Devils. Suspension over for Dallas Drake. He's back in the lineup for the Waiters. And Dale Howard-Chuck scored his 500th goal of his career with a goal against the Calgary Flames. Dale Howard-Chuck is 29. He is still a 5-star player. Right, in Boston to play the Bruins. They are now 5-3. We lost our first meeting of the season against the Bruins at home 8-6. Let's see if we can get some payback here. Of course, it's going to be without Gretzky, and they're putting Castles on the first line. So, again, it's not Gretzky, but, you know, he should be competent to do that. All right. Artus Airby is going to be in net for us. Felix Potvin is going to be in net for the Bruins. Go Kings! Can we survive without Wayne Gretzky? And we lost 4-2. It's all because Gretzky is hurt. Alright, so that's our first, I think it's our first loss of the season on the road. I think we were perfect on the road up to now. We outshot Boston 33-22, so yeah, that one is probably a little bit on the goaltender. Stéphane Lebeau, oh god, FJ, where are you? When Stéphane Lebeau is the first star of the game, you're nowhere to be found. That's where you're at. Stéphane Lebeau, first star, a goal and an assist. Jeff Smith was the second star with an assist, and Randy Gillen was the third star with 2 assists. Alexei Gusarov opened up the scoring in the first period from Mike Ridley and Randy Ladouceur. Then the Bruins tied the game. It was 1-1 after 1. There was a fight between John Carter and Robert Reichel. Then in the second period, Andrew Castle scored from Mike Gartner and Jeff Smith, made it 2-1 Kings, but then yet again the Bruins tied the game. Then there was some more face punching. Greg Allgood and Randy Ladouceur went at it in the second period. And then in the third period, the Bruins scored twice and they ran away with a 4-2 win, but not before Owen Nolan and Adam Burt punched each other on the helmet and visor and whatnot. All right. No further discipline for Murray Barron playing in Buffalo, so no suspension for him. Speaking of suspension, Yui Krupp is back from suspension in Buffalo. Alaya Friday is suspended in Toronto. He's going to miss 3 games. Memorable game for Peter Klimasil in Detroit. He had a hat-trick against the Leafs. Tom Fitzgerald with the Islanders is suspended. He's gonna miss 1 game. Don't care. And Ed Olchuk has been put on the trading block by the Leafs. And we have 1 more game to play in October. It's Halloween night. Hopefully we come in costumed as a winning team. We are going to be playing the Hartford Waiters. They are 5-4-1, so pretty similar record to ours. We have not played them this season. Let's see what they have. Alright, so Mark Tinordi is hurt, so he's not going to be playing. In net, they have Byron Dafoe and Mark Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick that I traded there for Adam Burt. Then on D, they have Dave Babich, Alkidis, Richard Samuelson, Kote, Konstantinov, Mahler, and Tinordi. And up front they have Gilbert Dion, Brent Gilchrist, Tippett, Sylvain Turgeon, Todd Warner, Dallas Drake, Dean Evason, Ray Ferraro, Ron Francis, Kevin Deneen, Jim Vesey, Scott Young, and Yaramchuk. They're not going to be an easy out. They totally can win that. Alright, Arthur Serbe still in net for us. Mark Fitzpatrick against his former team in net for Hartford. Go Kings, come on. Oh yeah, a 5-1 victory, so that's our first win without Gretzky this season. And we were outshot 37-26, so that's pretty good. Ray Shepard was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Artus Irbe was the second star with 36 saves in the win. And Randy Wood was the third star with a goal and an assist. Kings scored twice in the first period. Robert Cron scored from Alexander McGillney and Robert Reichel, and Randy Wood from Ray Shepard and Mike Ridley. 2-0 Kings after 1. And in the second period, Andrew Castle scored from Randy Wood and Ray Shepard, and then Luke Robitaille scored his 5th from Andy Reimshaw and Robert Reichel. It was 4-0 Kings. Then Hartford scored 4-1 after 2. And then Mike Ridley scored unassisted in the third period, make it 5-1. That was the final score. Looks like some fighting here. Jim Vesey and Gerald Deduck, and then Kevin Deneen and Randy Ladouceur. Randy Wood got hurt, but it's a day-to-day injury and he can't play. His name is not in red, so we don't really care. Mark Messier extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against the Washington Capitals. Tom Fitzgerald served his suspension in Uniondale, back in the lineup with the Islanders. Phil Housley has recorded 500 assists in his career with 3 assists against Ottawa. Phil Housley is 28 and still a 3.5-star player. Joe Murphy extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against the Leafs. Alright, with the players that sold the most jerseys for us in October: Wayne Gretzky, Luc Robitaille, Mike Gartner, Artur Serbe, and Ray Shepherd. Well, Ray Shepherd is usually not there. Usually he doesn't sell many jerseys. And in the entire NHL, Wayne Gretzky is 7th, Luc Robitaille is 10th, and Mike Gartner is 17th. Gary Suter, with his near $2 million contract because Calgary matched my offer, is first. Alright, so the players of the month were Mario Lemieux for Pittsburgh and Andy Moog for Washington. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look here. Alright, so we had a little bit of a shaky start. Mostly, we're not playing very well at home. Not too sure what's up with that. But after a pretty rocky start, we're 7-5, so it could be worse. We are 4th in the conference. Of course, the reigning Stanley Cup champion Calgary Flames are first. They have a pretty good team. Even though they've lost a couple players, they are still pretty good. It's going to be tough. We're going to be without Wayne Gretzky for an extended amount of time, so we're just going to need to deal with it. That's what it comes down to. Let's take a look. Let's see if my Nordiques and Sens, let's see how they're doing. Oh, the Nordiques are first there. The Sens, oof, not so much. Yeah, both the Sens and the Lightning have 2 wins in their first month. Of course, the Sens are a little bit better than they were in real life, like as far as the talent on the team goes. Tampa Bay is not as good. Tampa Bay was not that bad as a expansion team. They didn't do too bad, and they had, players that were able to play a little bit, including Brian Bradley, of course, that helped, but they had a few other players. Ottawa, it was a little bit more tough for them. Alright, let's take a look at our stats. Of course, we're not going to be seeing Gretzky in here. He's on the injured reserve. So let's see about the players that we do have playing. So Alexander McGillney is our superstar so far this season. He has 20 points in 12 games. That is pretty good. Andrew Castles, 16 and 12. That's also pretty good. Shepherd, 14 and 12. Also good. 13 and 12 for Robitaille. Robert Cron, my free agent acquisition from the offseason, 12 points in 10 games. That's also pretty good. Robert Reichel, 11 and 12. Gary Gaddy, 10 and 12, and then it goes down from there. Mike Gartner, still a point per game, 9 and 9. So we got the offense. So far, the offense is not a problem. Problem is on D and in net. We're gonna need to maybe try to find a way to address that, although it's really hard to make a deal that makes sense for goaltenders in this game. Alright, and in the entire league, Mario Lemieux is the best goal scorer. He already has 16 goals. I thought that McGillney maybe had a shot at being first, but yeah, no. Paul Coffey is the best passer with 16 assists. Mario Lemieux, 30 points, is first in the league. Mario Lemieux has been a little bit underwhelming in this series so far. I mean, he hasn't been horrible or anything like that, but he hasn't been pressuring Gretzky or anything like that for, top scorer or anything like that. He's on to a good start now this season. So 30 points, that's 8 more than second place Doug Gilmour and his teammate Mark Recchi. And we can look at the goalie leaders. We don't have anybody in there. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, it looks like Ron Tugnut is having despite the Sens struggling, it looks like he's having a pretty good start to the season. He has both of their wins. So he only played 4 games and they played 11, so who played the other 7? That's got me curious. Sorry, I'm a Sens fan, so I have to check what they're doing. Who cares about what I'm doing? Oh, they have Delfino in it. So Delfino played in 7 games. He lost all 7. He is terrible. Tugnut is playing pretty good, but yeah, hopefully that's going to change. And that they're going to give him more starts. So yeah, the Sens are a little bit better than they were in real life as far as talent goes. Not by a whole lot, but a little bit. Alright folks, that's the time where I save my game. That's the time where I say that it's time for me to go take my nap because I'm old. I'm old and decrepit. Alright, so as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you're catching that on YouTube a little bit later and you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Until I roll this game again, I'll see you folks next time. Thank you.